sunshine in a one of the biggest stories we told. Always come to Jamaica, down in the people area. This is my sweet Jamaica, but we will have sunshine and water. They don't know about a thing. Every little bit is gonna be alright. Sing it, don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing. Every little bit is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Really do it right now.
Of the Bahamas. The Kingdom of Belgium. Canada. The French Republic.
Slow.
The Republic of Ghana. Ireland. United Mexican States. The Kingdom of the Netherlands. The Republic of Panama. The Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The United States of America.
Welcome to this, the 11th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference. And as we have given thanks for this day that the Lord has made, and so ladies and gentlemen, to welcome us to his Sunshine City, celebrated worldwide as Jamaica's tourism capital, where innovation, culture, and opportunity converge. Please welcome His Worship, our Mayor, Councillor Richard Bernard.
Thank you very much, Debbie Bissoon, our Master of Ceremonies. Following your protocol established, please permit me to stand on them. Bishop the Honorable Conrad Pitkin, representing the Governor General. Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Greetings on behalf of the St. James Municipal Corporation. And to our distinguished delegates, partners, and visitors, welcome to the city of Montego Bay, the best city in the Caribbean. A city that has stood at the crossroads of challenge and renewal. In the wake of the devastation of 2025, Montego Bay has carried the weight of recovery, straddling the difficult path of rebuilding infrastructure, restoring public confidence, and re-energizing community life. Today, as the host of the 11th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference, Montego Bay embodies resilience in action and serves as a living testament to Jamaica's capacity to rise stronger from adversity. This conference, convened at a decisive moment in our national journey. Its theme, Diaspora Partnerships, Rebuilding a More Resilient Jamaica, is a clear mandate and an invitation to move beyond the echo chamber of what is broken towards building what is enduring, a sustainable future for Jamaicans everywhere. Resilience is expressed in stronger institutions, modernized infrastructure, empowered communities, and a renewed trust in our social contract. It is the deliberate construction of systems capable of withstanding disruption while advancing transformation. For Montego Bay, this alignment is strategic and urgent. Our recovery has demanded the restoration of public infrastructure and spaces, the strengthening of community safety, and the improved institutional capacity of local governance. The steady recovery of public services, the rebuilding of corridors and infrastructure, and the call for deeper participatory governance remind us that resilience must be lived at the community level. This conference provides the platform to mobilize diaspora capital, expertise, and innovation to meet these goals head-on, ensuring that Montego Bay is not only a host city, but a model city for Jamaica's transformation. Diaspora partnerships are indispensable to this vision. Jamaicans abroad are important ambassadors of our culture, but also co-architects of our future. Their expertise in medicine, technology, finance, and education, combined with their investments and advocacy, constitute a reservoir of strength. When mobilized with clarity of purpose, these contributions become the scaffolding upon which Jamaica builds a society prepared for the demands of the 21st century. Therefore, let this conference stand as the defining moment when Jamaica and our brothers and sisters abroad pledge to rebuild together, channeling capital into opportunity, driving accountable governance, advancing climate resilience, and forging powerful alliances, so that Jamaica may, under God, continue to increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity as we play our part in advancing the welfare of the human race. I close with the timeless words of Marcus Garvey. Up, you mighty race. You can accomplish what you will. Up, you mighty Jamaicans at home and abroad. We can envision a more perfect union. We can make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise our families, do business, and retire with confidence. May this spirit of strength and unity guide our deliberations, our partnerships, and our shared destiny as we build a Jamaica that is resilient in its institutions, radiant in its culture, and resolute in its future. Thank you. God bless this conference, and may God continue to bless Jamaica, land we love.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank our Mayor Councillor Richard Vernon again for his welcome. And the Mayor has asked me to tender his apologies as his duties now take him overseas, and so he has to leave the conference at this time. But can we put our hands together once more, please, for our Mayor? Our next speaker is not only one of the most respected business leaders as CEO of the Jamaica National Group, who has made a commitment to this conference as legacy partners, but through a leadership marked by integrity, vision, and purpose, serves as this year's conference chair. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable Earl Jarrett, OJCD, JP.
Good morning, all. Bishop the Honorable Cardinal Pitkin, Custos Oratorium of the Parish of St. James, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Mark Golding, Leader of the Opposition, Diaspora Conference Host Ministers, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, and Honorable Orlando Turlong, Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, members of the House of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, conference sponsors and attendees. It's a real pleasure to be here this morning and to welcome you to this Diaspora Conference. It is a really impressive gathering that I'm looking at here. So many persons from all over the world who have come together in the interest of Jamaica. Yesterday, we opened the conference with over 1,000 persons in attendance, the majority of whom traveled from faraway places to be here in Jamaica. With this number in attendance, the conference was oversubscribed. The level of attendance and the importance attached to this Jamaica Diaspora Conference sends a loud message, a loud and clear message to the world that Jamaica diaspora is committed to the development of our country. This event can be called the Jamaica Day of Pentecost, where Jamaicans are coming together from more than 15 countries, have gathered in one place in freedom to speak to each other with one language of love and affinity. This is an apt demonstration of the fact that Jamaicans at home and abroad are proud of our strong heritage, and we stand united in raising the flag of Jamaica high for all to see. The conference is a gathering that is focused on the possibilities for Jamaica. The network of Jamaicans is strong and getting even stronger through this event. Yesterday, it was good to see old friends being rekindled and new business opportunities being birthed. Once again, the conference has a feature called the Jamaica Marketplace, where persons can engage with government agencies, private sector businesses, civil society organizations, and charities. The number of exhibitors in the marketplace amounted to 80 entities, with persons accessing financing opportunities. And it was interesting to see the display of the innovation and skills being displayed by our students from our universities. They were at a world-class level. It is anticipated that the exposure that they would have received yesterday and today and tomorrow will certainly put them in a place where they can achieve the capital that is required for them to grow and to move outside of Jamaica with their innovations. That capital is not just financial capital, but also intellectual capital. As I know in this room, the amount of brain power that I'm looking at can certainly help these young people to move to the next level. The conference has validated the fact that there's a great value in convening around a common cause, and in our case, that cause is Jamaica. It was also good to be reminded of the exceptional contribution of Jamaicans who are making a positive impact beyond our shores. The Governor General's Achievement Awards Diaspora Presentation Ceremony recognized 7 persons from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and this year, China and France. As the aim is to recognize Jamaicans who are residents of the non-traditional diaspora countries who are making a positive contribution in their host country while contributing to Jamaica's development. As you may know, this conference had its origins dating back to 2003 at what I would call the Mona School of Business Symposium, when on the diaspora, the outcome of that meeting was the stage of the first conference in 2004. The objective of the government of the day was to formalize the relationship between the Jamaican community abroad and the Jamaicans here, and the associations that Jamaicans created abroad. I would declare that the original intention and targets have been achieved, and in many ways have been exceeded. The conference provides an opportunity for dialogue, as today information is readily available overseas. Many times I've been informed about what's happening here in Jamaica by you, the members of the diaspora, who seem to get the news first. The penetration of the communications technology has certainly made a big difference, and the use of the internet in connecting us on a daily basis. So information now moves at the speed of light, and so anything happens here is immediately known abroad. It is therefore of great importance that we have a dialogue in these sessions to facilitate new discoveries. This conference provides a pathway for effective dialogue for the advancement of Jamaica and its citizens. It's not about a one-way flow of information, it's two ways, where we're going to have a conversation as to how Jamaica should develop over time. Your journey began with a massive migration of West Indians in 1948 on the German registered ship, the Windrush, which sailed from the Caribbean to the United Kingdom and docked at a port called Tilbury. And subsequently in the 1960s and 70s, we had Jamaicans migrating to the United States and to Canada and elsewhere around the world. The journey was not easy, and we don't take it for granted that it was easy at all. As you and your family withdrew your savings in the building societies to fund the passage to go to England and elsewhere. That was a great sacrifice that was made by you and your own families. We all look forward to receiving those blue airmail envelopes expressing love and loneliness, whilst not disclosing the challenges that you faced in a new land. However, through it all, you took advantage of the opportunities for advancement through education, entrepreneurship, and now it's time for the return, physically, financially, and philanthropically. Therefore, we welcome you to this dialogue, facilitated and funded by the government of Jamaica, the private sector, and you, the diaspora, through your participation. I quote from Jimmy Cliff, where he did a song called, which was the soundtrack for The Harder They Come, where the lyrics went something like this: you can get it if you really want. Again, I won't sing. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try, and try. You will succeed at last. Let us continue this quest together for the building of the greater Jamaica. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once more as we thank Sir Jarrett. Thank you for your service as chairman and for your remarks, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is certainly pleased by your response to the conference this year in this room and for those joining us online. Please welcome the Honorable Orlando Terrelong, our Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
The Honourable Johnson Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, other colleague ministers present, Mr. Mark Golding, Leader of the Opposition, Ambassador Sheila Seeley-Monteith, Permanent Secretary and Head of the Jamaican Foreign Service at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, legacy partners, including our conference chair, the Honourable Earl Jarrett, Sir Frank James, Sir Courtney Campbell, heads of Jamaica's Diplomatic and Consular Corps, members of the Diplomatic Corps present here with us today, Consular Richard Vernon, Mayor, who was here, Dr. Kevin Brown, President of UTEC and former UK North elected member of the Jamaica Diaspora Council and our program chair, esteemed guests and panelists, members of the diaspora, including members of the Global Jamaica Diaspora and the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Forum, Miss Shani Reid, our conference project manager, Miss Maureen James, head of the Montego Bay Convention Centre, other members and representatives of government, private sector, academia, civil society, and international partners, members of the media, friends of Jamaica, Jamaicans one and all, who have traveled from 14 different countries to join us today. Buenos dias y bienvenido a Jamaica. Ni hao, zai sang shao hao. Guten morning, bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue à la Jamaïque. Me ma wo akiye, good morning. It is with heartfelt gratitude and genuine satisfaction that I address you today. I am indeed humbled by the breadth of support which the 11th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference has generated, and I express my sincere appreciation to all of you who have contributed to making this event a reality. Indeed, the moment we have so diligently worked towards has arrived. We now stand at the threshold of what promises to be one of the most impactful diaspora conferences in our nation's history. To think that just 3 months ago, some questioned whether we could succeed in having a conference such as this, with geopolitical turmoil, immigration issues, 2 major wars, increase in oil prices, travel difficulties, and other issues. And we at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade said we will persist with our conference because our Jamaicans will always rally around the black, green, and gold. The 11th Biennial Jamaica Conference represents a significant milestone that signals both continuity and renewal. At this defining juncture, we are called to embrace the opportunities before us and an unfolding horizon of shared purpose, collaboration, and boundless possibility. It is with great pleasure that I warmly welcome all delegates, partners, and participants to this opening ceremony and invite you to engage fully in enriching exchanges that lie ahead. The time to engage, innovate, and elevate our collective aspirations is now. As I reflect on the journey that has brought us together, spanning our global launch and vibrant town hall meetings held both in person and virtually across the United Kingdom, Canada, the United States, Africa, continental Europe, Latin America, and the Caribbean, complemented by extensive promotional and outreach efforts, I am truly gratified by the remarkable outcome we now witness. These initiatives have established a firm foundation for what promises to be a transformative week and reaffirm our shared vision for Jamaica's future. The enthusiasm and dedication exhibited throughout this period have culminated in this significant moment. Since April, we have built and sustained momentum, creating a platform for substantive engagement, constructive dialogue, and renewed collaboration in advancing Jamaica's development aspirations. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this year's conference assumes particular significance in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa as we gather under the timely theme, Diaspora Partnerships, Rebuilding a More Resilient Jamaica. In an era defined by uncertainty, rapid change, and emerging opportunities, our unity and collective vision have never been more important. We gather, therefore, to deepen connections, foster collaboration, and build a Jamaica that is stronger, more innovative, more sustainable, and more inclusive. The Jamaican story has never been confined to the shores of this island. It lives in Toronto. It breathes in London. It dances in New York, Miami, Panama City, Johannesburg, and countless other communities across the world where Jamaicans continue to excel while carrying Jamaica in their hearts as true ambassadors of our nation. Though separated by oceans and borders, we remain one people, one family, and one nation, united by our heritage, shared values, and shared commitment to Jamaica's advancement. Last year alone, remittance inflows exceeded $3 billion US. But the true value of our diaspora extends far beyond financial contributions. It is reflected in the shared expertise, the businesses established, the students mentored, the communities supported, and the global reputation strengthened by Jamaicans across the world. Every success achieved by a Jamaican abroad contributes to the story of Jamaica's resilience, excellence, and global influence enshrined in the motto, "We little but we tolerate." Whether responding in times of crisis, supporting communities in the aftermath of natural disasters, mentoring young persons, investing in businesses, and promoting brand Jamaica as a destination for trade and investment, you, the members of our diaspora, have consistently demonstrated an unwavering commitment to our country's advancement. Guided by our recently concluded implementation plan, monitoring and evaluation framework developed to support national diaspora policy, the prospects for a coordinated and strategic approach to diaspora engagement have never been more promising. Through purposeful collaboration amongst government ministries, departments, and agencies, the private sector, academia, civil society, and our diaspora communities, we have achieved meaningful progress, as is evident by your presence today. These accomplishments provide the confidence that together we can unlock new opportunities for sustainable growth, national resilience, and deeper diaspora homeland partnerships. Over the course of this conference, we will examine practical strategies to equip Jamaica for future challenges. We will explore opportunities to strengthen disaster preparedness, enhance food security, building more resilient communities, improving health outcomes, and expanding opportunities for economic growth and investment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, innovation must remain at the center of our national development strategy. This conference provides a platform to explore new ideas, technologies, and partnerships that can accelerate Jamaica's progress. Notably, we are introducing advanced technologies, including the AI TICS Connect platform and the NFC RFID-enabled wristbands to facilitate seamless networking, business engagement.
Do you own land and need a title? Well, the National Land Agency NLA can help. Through the systematic land registration process, the NLA will assist residents to get titles in declared project areas across Jamaica. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as systematic adjudication area. For further information on the systematic land registration process, including declared systematic adjudication areas, who can apply and the benefits, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm or email asknla@nla.gov.jm. The National Land Agency, one goal.
Are you living on or in possession of family land? Do you want to sell or subdivide the property? Use eLand Jamaica to search for details on the property. You can complete a title search and verify the owner before you sell the property. If your name does not appear on the title, register the land or clarify the existing title in your name before you sell. A title is a notice to the world of your ownership of land. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. The National Land Agency, one agency, one goal to serve you better.
And enhanced experience for delegates, sponsors, and exhibitors. These innovations reflect Jamaica's readiness to embrace future and leverage technology as a catalyst for development.
Thank you very much, Madam Master of Ceremonies. Overlooked but not forgotten. I'm grateful. Custis Peterkin, representing the GG, PM Holness, Mrs. Holness, other members of Cabinet, members of Parliament, councillors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a pleasure to stand here 7 to 8 months after that terrible hurricane that hit Jamaica and see all these faces who have come home to be part of this 11th biennial conference. The room is full and the vibe is good, and I'm very happy to be part of it. This, as has been said, this trend, this tradition now of biennial conferences to bring us as Jamaicans from all over the globe here to share ideas, share experiences, and contribute to our nation's development began with the first of these conferences back in 2004. And I want to take this opportunity just to acknowledge my former colleague, former Senator Delano Franklin, who had such a critical role in those early days in making this happen. It's good to acknowledge him at this time. I dare say there may be persons in attendance who were at the very first biennial conference. I see a couple hands acknowledging that. Enough respect for being here still. It has been said many times and in many different ways, but the reality is that Jamaica and the Jamaican family, we are a global people, and our country is blessed with this large reservoir of talent, of resources, of persons with a strong emotional connection to Yard that we call the diaspora. Yes, you are the most important source of Jamaica's foreign exchange supply, with higher net foreign exchange earnings than any other source. And not only are you a source of foreign exchange, but you are de facto the most important social safety net that keeps Jamaica and Jamaican society on an even keel. So we must never take your efforts for granted. And the fact that you are here today indicates that you wish to be part of the national development of Jamaica. And it is for us as leaders to find and create opportunities for you to play your part to the fullest in national development. I know, for example, that public boards would benefit by your participation, and I would encourage mechanisms to be established to facilitate your presence and participation on public boards in the country. There are over 100 of them, and they cover a wide array of very important activities. This is where you can contribute to the governance of the nation without the need for any new legislative arrangements and so on. We're meeting at a time when, as was said in the opening prayer, we are still feeling the residue of Hurricane Melissa. And I think it's very important, even in these pristine and magnificent surroundings here, that we do not forget or overlook that for many, many Jamaicans, they are still finding life incredibly difficult since October 28, 2025. We have reports of schools where children are not attending in high numbers, small businesses and other business people struggling to get back on their feet, and many people still living under tarpaulins in parts of Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, even southern St. James, and so on, Trelawney, parts of St. Anne. So what I would say is, even as we draw inspiration from that disaster and seek to reset our efforts to drive the economy forward and achieve the elusive levels of sustained economic growth that we need to generate wealth for our people and achieve our hopes and dreams, our priorities must be to restore the lives and livelihoods of those who are still suffering from that hurricane. And I urge the government, whether it be through NARA or whatever mechanisms are being put in place, prioritize the restoration of broken lives. Let these people get back on their feet so they can make their contribution to national development. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to speak for long. I just wanted to play my part in acknowledging your presence, thanking you for coming, and saying, God bless Jamaica, land we love, the greatest little country in the world. One love.
Would you please be upstanding and join me in welcoming Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica.
No way no better than you. And when you check, please, be seated. I don't know, I just felt that a while ago. I mean, isn't Minister Johnson Smith such a wonderful minister? I believe she is the best minister of foreign affairs. But I think she gave my speech. Bishop, the Honorable Conrad Pitkin, representing His Excellency, the Governor General, the Speaker of the House, the Most Honorable Juliet Holness, Dr. Horace Chang, our Deputy Prime Minister, we affectionately refer to him as the President of the Republic of Montego Bay. And of course, my dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding. Mark, how could I forget you? You know, it was not always the case at these events that the leader of the opposition was invited to speak. But as this event evolved into more of a national event rather than a government-sponsored event, it became the protocol that the leader of the opposition, which is a constitutional position, quite a unique thing in constitutional innovations, to have the office of the leader of the opposition written into the Constitution. So Mark, we can never forget you. And we're always happy to have you here as leader of the opposition. That's how we do it in Jamaica. That is the strength of Jamaican democracy. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't let anybody fool you about Jamaica's democracy. There is no other country whose democracy is as strong as Jamaica. Believe me when I tell you that. You know, I have always said that Jamaica is the first black democracy in the world. Yeah, and I have not been contradicted successfully so far, but it is the truth. It is something that we can be proud of. And listen, democracy is not a sanitized exercise. It can be brutal. But many of you are from countries where the brutality of the democracy is probably worse. So you well understand that what you read in the papers and on social media, it's just part of the democracy. So let me welcome you all back home, back to Jamaica. I am very happy to see you, and I'm very pleased to see a super packed room. I mean, you look good. There is an energy among Jamaicans, and you can feel it even before anyone says a word. It's warmth, it's spirit, it's the memory of collective struggle, it's the swag, it's the assertiveness, it's the ambition. I think that's the word that describes us, ambition. And I feel it and see it in this room. Over the past 8 months, Jamaica has carried grief, loss, worry, and hard work. Hurricane Melissa tested us, but the Jamaican spirit held and held strong. When Melissa made landfall on October 28 last year, it came as a Category 5 hurricane. It's the strongest storm to have hit Jamaica, and it is the 3rd strongest hurricane on record. In a few hours, communities built over generations were wiped out. The call went out, and you answered. From the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Panama, all over, wherever there were Jamaicans, wherever you planted roots, you responded. You sent funds, you organized relief, you spoke up for Jamaica, you called home, and you checked in. That made a world of difference. So before I speak about plans, programs, financing, or reconstruction, I want to begin with the simplest thing we do in Jamaica, which is to express gratitude. Thank you. Let me see the real Jamaicans who understand that. That's what my grandmother used to say, thank you. So, thank you. There's one thing that I know Jamaicans are very sensitive about, and for many years we have just felt devalued by it. And what's that? That's the devaluation, depreciation of our currency. For the Jamaicans who are from the era of the 60s and 70s, we recall parity, and when the Jamaican dollar and the US dollar were almost equal, and then 2 to 1, and then it just kept sliding. And the sliding of the currency is almost a personal devaluation of our worth. Well, for the last 5 years or more, we have had a stable currency. I want you to reflect on that and how huge an achievement that is. Not talked about too much, but I thought I would place it in the minds of our diaspora to consider that. That's a huge change in the Jamaican situation. And by the way, the currency is a freely floating currency. There are not many countries in the Caribbean or even regionally that have a freely floating currency. And we do that whilst maintaining the highest level of reserves in Jamaica's history. There were times when we didn't have the 13 weeks of foreign exchange reserve, which is usually a kind of test benchmark as to whether or not the country can survive and purchase the goods and services that it needs. We have now the highest levels of reserves ever. And as our Minister of Finance likes to term it, it's the rent money. That is what guarantees that we are able to truly run Jamaica. But one of the big issues for members of the diaspora is housing. So I know I've read the horror stories of members of the diaspora sending back money to Jamaica to build the fancy mansion. And then to their terrible surprise upon landing, hoping to have the enjoyment of the beautiful facility, when they turn up, either there is no house or a shack. We have read the horror stories. Well, the housing market in Jamaica is expanding, and it is expanding rapidly, particularly in the private sector. And I encourage all Jamaicans overseas to participate here in the real estate market in Jamaica. Get your second home here, or even your first home, get it here in Jamaica. That will help to drive the economy. And in a strange way, that will also help the NHD to refocus its effort on providing low-income and affordable housing to those Jamaicans who can't afford the prices in the private housing market. So I think the diaspora can play an incredible role in supporting the private real estate market, and I encourage all of you here to buy a piece of Jamaica in the private real estate markets. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a great pleasure being with you. You have been a lovely audience, and I hope that I've been able to take you through the emergence of Jamaica as the place of choice to live, work, do business, raise families, and as I like to say, retire in paradise. God bless you, and thank you.
Agro Invest. We're in the booth of Agro Invest at the Diaspora Conference, and I'm happy to run into one of the new, what you call it now, directors, who is going to be charting the way for the full development and, you know, and proliferation of the agricultural sector, not just across Jamaica, but internationally, because it's a sector that is charged with the responsibility to grow the economy. Mr. Angus.
How are you, sir?
How you do?
I'm good. Thanks for stopping by.
The pleasure is mine, and I'm so happy I run into you at this time, because I hear them move you from one part of government and then put you over here. So I say, what you know? You're a performer, so come perform over here, so.
Well, I hope that is the case, and I hope to deliver.
You hope to deliver.
But I'm in agriculture now.
So what is your full charge with Agro Invest?
So at Agro Invest, I have two roles. So I am the Director of Investment, Export and Market Development.
Oh, Lord.
So now we're going to streamline the investment coming in, which is why we're here. So we're trying to encourage everybody to come and look at agriculture. Agriculture is really the largest growing sector for us. And we want more people to look at investing in agriculture, both local and international. And our diaspora will welcome them. On the investment side, you know, with agro parks, and we're developing agro parks, and we're charged over by the minister to have agro parks across the entire country. So every parish should have an agro park. So that will mean we have a lot of persons looking at land to really invest in agriculture. Then we're charged with now building the parks in a way where we produce to export. So that again, we will now position ourselves to help our farmers find contracts abroad and export. So, and then find new markets as well. And on the other side, I'm also the general manager for export division. Which deals with the spices, cocoa, pimento, nutmeg, ginger, turmeric. Again, we're going to look to grow that and look at investment. Yes, and look at the investment in that area. Cocoa is one of the largest things, and with our fine flavor cocoa, you can imagine there's a lot of opportunity.
Yes, indeed. Because I know Ghana is having a major thing with cocoa. So therefore, our cocoa is just as good as theirs.
Probably better.
Or probably better.
Yes. So we have to now look at our programs. You know, we had some disease problem. how we manage it with RADA and JACRA and get back the whole operation up and get the production back up.
So Agro Invest, where your concern and your responsibility is going to be leading the way for export agriculture and agricultural development for export in particular.
Yes, yes, yes.
So therefore, what about say they have RADA and they have other parts of the ministry? So more or less they'll be dovetailing within the context of what you're doing somewhat?
Yes, so what happened is all these agents have a different responsibility. So RADA is really the man from agriculture who is the extension officer for all farmers across.
Yes.
Agro Invest is more specific around the agro parks and the facilities that deal with the production within the agro parks. So while RADA has a wider the door-to-door with every farmer, we are more managing our agro parks and the infrastructure within and grow. But together, we both, because there are also farmers in agro parks.
Yes, yes.
So together we work together as partners.
But then the farmers that falls within your jurisdictions are the ones that are particularly growing for export somewhat.
Yeah,
in a sense.
It's about local and
yes.
export. So what we really want to position the parks for with that vast amount of land is larger acreages. Specifically aimed to take on big contracts abroad.
So you're for the next 3 days, you're therefore going to be having a lot of appointments and meetings and interactions with Diaspora National to say, listen, this is where we are, this is what we have, and come and take advantage.
Come and take advantage. So listen to us, talk to us, tell us what you want to do. Let us see how we can fit in one of our parks and help you along the way.
In my next program with you, what I will do, because I'm going to have to obviously do a series of programs with you.
We will.
We want to be able to meet with you and follow you to one of the farms, to the agro park. We will follow you to an agro park, and then we see what happens there and see so people in the diaspora can see for themselves.
Things are happening.
You understand? If we can get it real time, we get it real time. Otherwise, we record it and send. But certainly so that we can get it live, so people can see it and do a follow up to the marketplace, to the various windows, so people can see when it starts and when it finishes.
When it finishes, yes, definitely.
Listen, Andre, it's always a pleasure.
Always a
blessing. Thank you so much for having me. Honorable Jared, how you do? Good to see you.
Right, thank you. Good to see you.
Yes, not good.
It's been such a long time.
It's been such a long time, God, and you've been doing a lot of things all over the place. Listen, you are now again chairman of the diaspora movement because you have been there from before they were even talking about the idea before it now becomes a reality. What is your feeling about where the diaspora has reached, and are you satisfied that it has gone that journey that you would have hoped it would have reached by now?
On some levels, yes, it has. Because well, first of all, remember the movement started before this diaspora conference.
Before all of this, yes, it was before.
Yes, indeed, I'm happy with the way the diaspora is growing. And I've got involved in a number of other initiatives abroad.
Yes, of course.
Education and business wise.
Right.
So the diaspora has really matured, I would say. As you would know, many Jamaicans and their children have gone on to do advanced studies
and all that,
and hold important posts in the country, in their whole country. If you look at, say, Florida, a number of Jamaicans assume
it has mushroomed tremendously
in government and in the private sector.
Right.
So from that point of view, yes, it has improved and has grown, and I think we now have more to get or pull from in terms of mental capacity and financial capacity, and it is now a time for the Jamaicans overseas to really take a stake in Jamaica, and I'm hoping that that will happen, and I'm seeing it already, that you do have a number of diasporans who have bought real estate in Jamaica. In an interview. Who have bought real estate in Jamaica, have set up business in Jamaica. So from that perspective, it has grown. From the other perspective, in terms of the real objectives of the idea of a Jamaica Diaspora Conference, which is to bring together organizations which are growing organically. So in Florida, you'd have these various associations and clubs, alumni associations. But there was no synergy between all them. So in terms of the conference being an opportunity for homecoming and for reflection.
And building that greater synergy.
Building the greater synergy and for the government of Jamaica to also adopt policies that would include the diaspora. So I think some of that is happening. So we've gone through a number of iterations with advisory boards and councils and so on. But at the end of the day, it's us, the people, that have to make it happen. And so progress, yes, The pace of the progress could be
Yes.
improved, but it all depends on us to make that happen. I mean, we do have some policies in Jamaica that needs to reflect the diasporas
A little bit more. Yes.
But at least it's a start. We go back to those three, the land of Franklin.
Yes, indeed.
The creation of this diaspora unit in the.
Would you ask me, learn me to ask a question? Do you think this is a time when we should try and get the opposition to get more involved in the process? Because it's not a PNP, JLP thing.
No,
it is a Jamaica thing.
Well,
and in terms of the landscape, of the economy and everything. We need to have that unity of purpose.
I think there is it was created under one government and sustained over various
government. That's right.
So it's an institution of freedom which is no longer political or not
Precisely.
political at all.
It's not at all.
Never been.
No.
And so we now just need for the community to remember that and to come together to do the work for Jamaica.
All right, George, it's always good to talk to you. Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to see you. Good to see you. Candice Camilla from London in the UK. Okay. So this is your first diaspora conference?
This is my second.
Your second. Which was the first one for you?
In 2024.
Okay, fine. How you compare this to that one?
This one was really good, much bigger on scale. If you compared it to last one was more intimate, less stalls. I think last one was more snug. This one's much bigger, and I can imagine it's probably going to be double the size next time, or maybe even triple the size next time.
Are you confident that you are the legal owner of your property? Take action to secure your property ownership. Get a registered certificate of title and become the legal owner of your property. To register your property and obtain a certificate of title, you will need to provide a tax registration number (TRN), a valid government-issued identification, a survey diagram, documentation to prove ownership, up-to-date property tax certificate, the names, addresses, and occupations of 2 neighbors over the age of 50 who are not family members and can give a declaration on your behalf. Proof that you have been in open, undisturbed, and undisputed possession of the property for 12 years or more. For further information on registering your property and obtaining a certificate of title, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. Email asknla@nla.gov.jm or message us at WhatsApp at 876-418-5089. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal to serve you better.
Do you own land and need a title? Well, the National Land Agency NLA can help. Through the systematic land registration process, the NLA will assist residents to get titles in declared project areas across Jamaica. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as systematic adjudication area. For further information on the systematic land registration process, including declared systematic adjudication areas, who can apply and the benefits, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm or email asknla@nla.gov.jm. The National Land Agency, one goal.
Are you living on or in possession of family land? Do you want to sell or subdivide the property? Use eLand Jamaica to search for details on the property. You can complete a title search and verify the owner before you sell the property. If your name does not appear on the title, register the land or clarify the existing title in your name before you sell. A title is a notice to the world of your ownership of land. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. The National Land Agency, one goal to serve you better. Are you confident that you are the legal owner of your property? Take action to secure your property ownership. Get a registered certificate of title and become the legal owner of your property. To register your property and obtain a certificate of title, you will need to provide a tax registration number (TRN), a valid government-issued identification, a survey diagram, documentation to prove ownership, up-to-date property tax certificate, the names, addresses, and occupations of 2 neighbors over the age of 50 who are not family members and can give a declaration on your behalf. Proof that you have been in open, undisturbed, and undisputed possession of the property for 12 years or more. For further information on registering your property and obtaining a certificate of title, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876.
Which shows that we're really starting to reach people in the diaspora, which is good.
Commissioner, talk to me.
Talk about the mobile.
There's a commissioner out of Florida, and he's going to tell us, give us his take on the conference.
Well, Commissioner Maxwell B. Chambers out of Miramar, Florida. It's amazing. This is my 5th conference, and it's such a pleasure to be here to bring value to Jamaica, to give back and to support our folks here in Jamaica. So the conference is always a good thing.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. And if I must share with you real quick, I'm here to support the people of Jamaica with my JA Mobile Medical Clinic right here for free, that anyone in the diaspora could reserve for free to go anywhere in Jamaica and give back free health care. Just
wonderful.
go to jamobile.clinic.com and you could make a donation there as well.
All right, Navin is at our first conference here in the convention center. What's your take on the conference?
It was good. It was really good. I appreciate how it was done, even though to start on most of the conferences it started late, but despite that it was good. The connections here that you meet is really good. Persons that you would necessarily get to contact with easily, they were easily available and accessible here, so it was good.
All right, good. Will you come back to another conference?
I would.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. Welcome back to the program. Of course, you know, I'm at the Diaspora Conference here in Montego Bay. What this place is called now? Rose Hall, just next door to Annie Palmer's house. And we've been having quite a number of interesting things. The Prime Minister was on earlier. The Minister of National Security was also on earlier. And they were speaking to the diaspora. And one interesting thing about this conference is that diasporans are asking questions of the government of Jamaica because they want more answers to some of the questions that they have for, and a number of things are happening. A couple of weeks ago, during one of my broadcasts, when I was doing a special on the National Land Agency, I had a call. Somebody wanted to know if you're going to will or you're going to gift your property, how is that handled? I wasn't able to answer it because I didn't have the answer today. I am so privileged at this conference. The National Land Agency is here because they understand that Jamaicans in the diaspora, you have a little piece of deadlift. They have a little piece of thing you want to give, or you want to will it, or you want to do something, or you want to come back home and do the house, but then you're not sure how you could be able to do it. I am privileged to have Miss Georgette Stewart Harrison. She is the Senior Director for Land Administration with the National Land Agency of Jamaica. Thank you so much for joining me. My pleasure. Listen, let us shoot off the bat. Let me start with that lady's question. She has a property out in, I think, Boyd, St. Mary somewhere. But she said, I'm not coming back. She says, Mr. Miller, I am 82. I am not coming back to America. I'm not coming back to Jamaica. But I want to give it to somebody. But how do I do this? So tell me what are the intricacies and the ramifications and for something like that before we get into.
Will is just a will, and a will can be done by anyone at any time. It's just a document indicating what you have, who you want to get it, and how it is to be shared. And that document has to be signed in the presence of 2 witnesses, right? Any 2 adult witnesses. And sign the document and it's a valid will, and it's dated valid. So it doesn't need to be complicated. You need to be able to name an executor or there's a minimum of one executor, but we recommend two, just in case one dies before the other. You'll have someone who can probate your will at the end of the day. So it's really just naming that executor, one, understanding what it is you're willing, so you your property, and indicating very clearly who you want to get it. So don't say my daughter, for example, say,
okay.
You know.
If you say my daughter, you say my daughter, Beverly Johnson.
Beverly Johnson. So they know clearly that, especially if you have more than one daughter.
Yes.
That is Beverly
Because
Johnson.
the next, you know, there's a family feud that developed from that.
Right. Or if you're doing a motor vehicle, you use chassis number and engine number. That can be clearly defined.
Okay, so there's no mistake that I'm talking about that Morris Oxford.
Right.
Or that Honda Civic.
Right. So there's a will form on the Administrator General's Department's
Website, yeah.
You can download, and you can follow the instructions and do your own will, or you can get an attorney to draft a will for you, prepare a will for you.
Wonderful. So, and it's just a simple will process. Now, in the event that that property, all right, she inherited that property from her father.
Right.
And then because of life take her, she went abroad and now she decided not to come back home. But her father never had a will for it and never had a title for the property. It just use your comment because you know those days, man, him say, well, him get him friend Thomas. Say, all right, take from the mango tree up to the standpipe. And from the standpipe down to which part the guango tree there. And him have that 15 acres out of 10 acres. That's all right. But then her piece now was never in writing. It's not on paper. It's not a titled property.
Right.
What kind of challenges are likely to develop there, and how does one handle that?
All right. So when it comes down to land matters, you are required to put things in writing. Where you have not put things in writing, then we look on what is called possession. So for unregistered land, you need to be able to show possession for at least 30 years.
30 years?
And there's a little principle behind that. That you have needed to be an adult first, and then on the Limitations Act, another 12 years added to that, so 18 plus 12. That 30-year period, that would show that you are in control. So if her dad died 30 years ago, even though he hadn't left it in writing, she can show that she took possession once he died. And possession, of course, is not always physical.
No.
Because we have foreigners who are in possession, so they may have fenced the property, and they are paying taxes for it. And whenever they come to Jamaica, they visit the property, and people know them to be the owner of the property. That can be considered to be possession.
Okay.
Once you can establish that possession, without the document, she would need two declarants, two persons in the community who knew the property, or not necessarily from the community, but knows the property because they may be living overseas themselves now.
Yes, because that's quite because she would have known somebody who might also be in the States or in England, and that sort of thing.
That is fine, as long as the person can speak to the ownership back to 30 years. So they say they knew to belong to Mr. John. Mr. John died in 1970. And when he died, his daughter Pam took it over, and she has been in possession.
Ah, so the person does not have to physically be here in Jamaica. Just be put in writing, and so that person's testimony would have to be certified by a JP or a notary public. Okay,
so
and it is valid, and it becomes valid.
Right.
Wonderful, interesting. Two declarants.
And then the person who's making the application does a declaration themselves. Bear in mind that the person who's making the application doesn't need to be able to speak to the whole 30 years.
No.
Because they could have just bought it recently. But the person who are supporting their declaration must be able to speak to it.
It's interesting. My conversation is with Miss Georgette Stewart Harrison. She is a senior director in the Department of the National Land Agency of Jamaica, and she's helping us to get some clarity to some very important and salient issues as far as possession of land and how to take possession and so on. Now, there has been this thing banging around in the media recently, and I have another question to you, but I'll be very quick. Adverse possession. What is the story about adverse possession? Because it seems to be a major thing happening now.
Okay. All right. So adverse possession can be a bad thing for some persons, but it's a good thing for other persons. So if someone has a registered piece of land, right, but they have not visited it for the last 12 years, they haven't paid any attention to it, they haven't debushed it, but someone else has moved on, They have built a house on it, they have been living on it, they have been treating it as if it belongs to them. Neighbors believe it belongs to them based on how they treat this property. What they have done is dispossess the true owner. Right? And so a registration of titles act actually allows a person who has been in possession for over 12 years in open and undisturbed possession to say, listen, I'm the one who now owns this property. Take the title from the true owner and put my name on as the new owner.
Something can go so?
Yes, it can. And you must remember the reason behind it, because as I said, when you have a piece of land and you don't debush it, and you have roads running from your property to your neighbor's property, or if the grass is so high that it values the properties of their neighbors, it becomes a nuisance. And a lot of times these people buy these properties, they don't pay taxes, they never ever come back to Jamaica, they don't visit, they don't pay any attention to these lands. But somebody comes, cleans it up, adds value to it, because they see that there's no way to contact whoever is the owner, you know, and the law thinks it's just that this person should be able to make a claim after a certain time.
But Mrs. Harrison, tell me now, if you have, my aunt died and left a piece of property from me, and I have taken it over, fine, granted now I went down for the funeral, I take over the thing, and then I have been paying the tax, I start paying the taxes in my name. There was a little house on the property, fine, there was a little man living there for a while, half and half, and then he died, and then somebody is taken and they left there, and it was there, and then somebody is creeping into the property, but then I am paying the taxes. And I sent somebody to say, listen, tell Tom Stokes not to stay on the property because it's mine, although I'm not there, blah, blah, blah. Tom Stokes disregard that and tell them don't come there with him, chop them up. Right. I am paying the taxes. That's what I think. I decided that no, after 9 years, I have decided I want to take over back the property and do something to it and so on. And then when I go there, no, somebody else is inside there and started to do some little work on some part of it as if to say it belongs to them. And disrespecting me and the team of persons that I want to go there to look after it. But I am paying the taxes. My name is on the tax roll for the property. How do I handle that?
Okay. So remember I said in order for the person to pay adverse possession, they have to have open and undisturbed possession. So if someone is on your land and your neighbor call you, in England, you say, listen, somebody's putting up a fence. You can't just sit down and not do anything. You call up your lawyer to get an eviction order for this person. If you call the person and say, listen, this is my land, you need to get off, and they ignore you, then you need to get a court order. Because what your court order, court application will do is to say that you have objected. You silently just watch this person and allow them to just take over possession. So they will not open and undisturbed possession. So what happens a lot of times is that the people who live overseas, they pay taxes, and they think because they're paying taxes, they are securing their land. But anyone can pay taxes. I can pay taxes for your land. If I turn to the tax office today, they're not going to ask me whose land it is. They don't care. They'll collect the money and they'll give me a receipt to say paid by George Stuart Harrison. So just paying taxes is not sufficient. You have to show up. It's your land. You have to, you know, take possession and let people know that it's your land. And you're not just sitting around and watching them do whatever they want to do.
But even if you send somebody under the property to warn them, don't stay there, come off the property, and they disregard the warning or send a paper. I know first why I'm speaking like this because there's a lady I know who have the situation where she sent written notice to the persons and the people that throw it outside or they just say don't take it or they disregard it. They send somebody there to deliver a note and say nobody for the house is not here. Oh, they're there, you know. And they say we don't know who you're talking about. Nobody's not here. Right. And they refuse to accept the notice.
One of the other things I want to say too is that you can protect your title because there's something called a caveat. So you have your title and you hear that someone is trying to take over your property, you can lodge a caveat. You don't need to give any explanation to the registrar. You just need to say, this is my property, I fear that someone is trying to take it over. I want notice if anyone tries to make an application. What happens is that once an application comes in, they are going to call your attorney and give notice to the registrar. Give notice to your attorney to say someone is attempting to make an application.
Okay, because they would have to make an application.
Right.
I see what you mean.
No caveat on your title, you know, there's nothing to warn. And remember that when you do an adverse possession application, there's a requirement for you to run an advertisement in the papers. Of course, people don't.
Nobody don't see that. Some people don't know what the advertisement looks like.
So they wouldn't know, you know. But so it really is. I want to encourage persons in the diaspora to keep a good relationship with your neighbors. You know, when you buy a piece of property, introduce yourself to your neighbors. My name is Mrs. Harrison. I just bought this property. You know, this is my number. Reach out to me if you see anything strange happening over in my house, or my yard. You know, when you come, you visit them and you carry a little box ring for them. Every now and again to encourage them to look at your property. So they'll call you, because everybody have WhatsApp nowadays. I see a man coming over there, they're dropping
stone or marl or sand. Yes.
That just happened. 12 years. That person, 12 years, they have to be there in open and undisturbed possession. Bear in mind that people lie and say that they have been in open and undisturbed
for longer than that, or they have never been disturbed.
The act allows you to actually protest if you try to have been put in that person's name, and if it's found that the persons were not truthful, they can be fined up to $1 million in imprisonment for our clients.
So you have this multifaceted approach in terms of the ideas. So the idea, so let me get you through the door to get this together, and all this takes place at LAMP.
At LAMP. What normally keeps back our clients from coming to the survey. So I say, get a survey, guys, and come to us. We'll take it from there once you have the survey. And
you are a fraction of the cost of what the outside expenses are.
Yes. And we don't treat you any less because you're paying less. We're just as efficient. You know, it may take a lot longer in some instances because, as I indicated,
you have a number of other cases working it.
Working on.
But so if I'm in the diaspora, but I'm not able to come to Jamaica to go through all of the ramifications and to jump all the hurdles, once I can write to you and give you specific and definite information.
Right. So you have to have an agent. So you need to appoint a local agent
to act on your behalf.
And that person can come in and do it.
And deliver the information and documents, and then you go through that process.
Further, we bring our offices to our clients. So once per month, my lawyers and legal paralegals go to Portland once per month. At the end of each month, we go to St. Thomas, go to St. Mary. We used to go to St. Catherine, but we find that the St. Catherine persons are coming into office.
Coming in Kingston, so
we have moved the St. Catherine office to Manchester so that the people from West
and those are the neighboring areas can access you.
So what we do is when we prepare documents, for example, for our clients, we know they're in St. Mary. We take it to St. Mary. We say, come and meet us at the St. Mary office. Take a bus all the way from.
And you walk them through the process there, and that's what. While you see new clients there at the same time.
We take new clients, open files for new clients at the same time. So we give them the documents. We say, go get them signed. We're coming back next month. Bring it back. Next month they bring it back to us. We take it, we process it. You know, and we have online payments, so they don't need to come in office. We have a bank account that they can do their payments. Once they send receipt to us by email or WhatsApp, we verify it and we're able to continue their matter.
So wonderful. So you do have quite an efficient and organized support service with the National Land Agency. And you don't have to necessarily be all the poorest of the poor. You just have to be somebody who needs that kind of a technical support system to get it all done in order to be able to get acquisition of the land.
For every Jamaican who has property that falls within one of these project areas. And as I indicated, all parishes in Jamaica, save and except for parish of Kingston
and St. Andrew,
have been declared. So once you have properties in that area, I am not going to be paying an attorney $400,000 if property.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Go to land and pay part of that amount. I would not do it. So I don't know if anyone else wants to.
No, you hear from the attorney herself, Miss. Was it Bridget? Georgette Stewart Harrison, who is the Senior Director in the National Land Agency of Jamaica, giving us all of this wealth of information. And we're just scratching the surface. She was just warming up. in actual fact. But we have to stop there for today. But I will be in touch with the land department. And of course, you know, we have been doing some information and doing some advertising and some promotions for them. We're going to be doing some much more work. We're going to be going to the land office. We're going to go there, watch them walk through the documentation from someone comes into when they're leaving out and follow through, and so that you can get a clear view and a clear understanding as to how the mechanics of the process works and how you, wherever you are, can really take possession of your property. And then for those of you who want to give it as a gift or want to now later on come down and do some business or to use it for security for other things else, you'll be able to know how to move from there with that. Miss Georgette Harrison, thank you so much. We're actually on almost the final day of the conference, but there tomorrow is community service. It's the Diaspora Conference, and just like the last time, you cannot have this conference wrap up without either beginning with the person who was designated responsibility to execute the program, or close with the person who says, listen, I am satisfied that my instructions carried out to its fullest, and the people from the diaspora were satisfied. With me again, just like the last time, is the Honorable Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, who is the, what you call it now, the engine that operates the diaspora process. Minister, always it's a pleasure to see you.
Tenny, thank you so much for having me. Hello to your listeners and hello to you. I am smiling from ear to ear because I think we're doing well.
Just tell me how you feel about what happened so far. Just tell the listeners so that they can get a feeling of that, you know.
Listen, the energy is here. The energy here, it just cannot be replicated. You can't explain it because there is from the start of conference to today, and it has gone from event to event, from panel to panel. I mean, the room yesterday at the last session of the day was full. That doesn't even usually happen at conference. Usually by, after lunch, people start to, they're going to maybe go to the beach or they're going to go shopping or take it easy. People are fully engaged. And that means that the substantive part of conference is as important as the networking part of the conference. I've been meeting people who started companies coming out of 2024, or who are developing partnerships and foundations coming out of today. People who have paid up their taxes, people who have taken out loans, people who have gotten their TRN, people who have applied for their national digital identification card, their national ID, people who have applied for citizenship, people who have applied for and gotten their passport. Just so much is happening now. People who are buying into developments. So businesses here on both sides. It's not just consumption. There are businesses here who are offering service beyond our legacy partners, and they are happy with their participation
because
here.
I understand that a tremendous amount of things has happened within the last 3 days.
It's been incredible.
It's much more than some of the departments would have gotten ordinarily when they're out there.
Exactly.
Some concerns that some people seem to have had.
Yes.
And I said I wanted to share with you.
Sure.
Some persons said they did not get enough reporting from the persons who have done so much in the past to present at this conference. Because there were so much things on the agenda that you were not able to really telescope more of those successes into this conference. How you feel about that?
What we are going to maybe do is have a virtual session that maybe has automatic invitation. If you're participating in conference, that you're invited to maybe 1 or 2 virtual sessions that can share some of the reporting, because I think that is a challenge. Time has not been our friend.
No.
We started out with not enough engagement time in the very first session, and then we found a better balance going through. But panelists have more information to share. People want to hear more, but people want to engage more. People have more to say because it's so rich, Tenny. Meaning the content is rich, the engagement is so authentic, that there is a genuine desire that I don't know if it's hard to meet it. It's hard to meet it.
And the people they come to run the government.
There's
no, I don't even know that. But they come here to give instructions to you.
I actually haven't felt it in such an instructional way this time. I think people have ideas that they want to share.
Yeah, right.
And while there has been a little of that, there's always people who, who believe in their ideas with a passion that is unconstrained. But I think the engagement has really been very reasonable and very reasoned in most cases. And I think what has been good as well is where some of the things that have been brought to the fore that have come from the panel, we've been or from the floor, we've been able to say, why don't you go to this agency that's in the marketplace? Well, why don't you speak to this? The National Education Trust Education Trust is there. Speak to them about your education project. The PICA is there. Speak to them about your citizenship issue. NLA is there. Speak to them about your land issue. The Jamaica Post is there. Speak
and I have seen on the floor where these windows are very busy. The people trying to deal with the demand that has been coming to them. And so
I went to TAJ today to apply for my replacement TRN because I lost it. They didn't have, they had run out of material when I went, mostly 3 years ago, and I just haven't had the time. I was able to go and apply for my TRN today. I got my letter. And they will print the actual TRN and I will pick it up at the center.
Well, you didn't pay your taxes, right?
I have my letter. My taxes are all up to date, sir.
But, Minister, what has been your thrilling feeling of this conference, despite there's so many facets to the conference? But which were the 3 or 4 ideas, departments or issues that you take away from this?
Can I say the biggest thing for me has been the expansion of the attendance. Not in numbers, but in quality.
There's a higher quality of participation level.
Of it.
Yes.
Part of it, I think, is where we are as a nation, in that things have improved so that the conversation has changed.
Right.
You remember that once upon a time, half of the discussion was why is crime so bad?
Yes. It has not been a part of the subject matter at all.
One of the MTS panels was public safety and security, because there's just less to
talk about and to worry about.
They've heard about the progress, they understand it, so they're doing other things, and that's progress. That's progress. Lots of other things in the works, but that's one of the things. The quality of the engagement. Secondly, the breadth of it. I'm thrilled by the fact that having launched the Diaspora Council, the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, and the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council, we have wider, not just deeper, but wider representation. So we had, because we now have representation in Latin America and the Caribbean, people here from Mexico, Argentina,
Mexico,
Trinidad,
which was exciting,
and Guyana, because we have representation in Africa. We have Ghana back again. We have South Africa. We have representation in Europe, which is now making sure that it's not just UK. We have Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, France, all represented, and not just here to say, boy, I came to say what it is, but engaging with ideas, because they're part of, they have been seen, they have been heard, they've found a path to connect and engage, a formal path, and that's now being utilized, which is what is broadening the engagement.
My conversation with Honorable Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and we're just looking at the entire conference as it is, and looking at the various not good and bad, but certainly the various small challenges, but certainly the kind of successes and the kind of instructive things that should have come out of this conference, which will make it better for the next conference. There are 2 things, Minister. One person made a very interesting suggestion. She says that as much as most of us are in the first world country, quote unquote, and we are expected to having to read and that sort of thing. She said when we come to Jamaica, there's a laziness about reading. That will come in. And if along the corridors, the televisions or the speaker system would say, again, welcome to the Diaspora Conference for this year. And remember your session starts at this time and your other session starts at that time. And remember we have the plenary session or with this or that, or we'll be talking the culture or the Prime Minister comes in at that time or launches that time. So it will also give them a reminder and put them in an international marketplace framework. So they'll be able to, it says not that they don't want to read, but it's just that the laziness, because Jamaica really puts you in a vacation mood once you get off the plane.
Must be. community.
Yes, so
and that's another thing we have to do better, because all of that information is embedded in here, in your wristband, because the new fabulous technology is another way.
Because remember, you were showing off on this new technology the last time we spoke.
But getting people sensitized on how to use it is something we need to do better. Right. Because
that is something that
we'll find
it's an introduction and it is good, and I think it's okay.
Yeah, and it will be smoother next time. And then you have hiccups like you saw how the registration place was set up so much better than it has been
than last time.
Better staffed and everything, and then the internet went down at the start of registration, like totally beyond our control. It was tested before, so you will always have something.
Yes, there's always that chance. You see, the more you improve, the more you expect you to improve more.
Maybe. So but I am committed, and my team is committed, and I know people feel it and they see it, and I'm always proud of my team. And ministry just I have the best people, and I am proud of them, and I'm pleased and privileged to have to work with them every day, to have the opportunity to work with them. Because I know that the success is due to their work. And their commitment to excellence.
No, they work hard and they do a lot of work hard. I quarrel with some of them sometimes because some of what I ask for might not be ready to be available, and I get a little bit finicky. But I respect and understand what their responsibilities are and what they're doing. So but if there's no animosity, it's just a matter of this.
But I think it's respected. That's where I wanted to go with it. You have just said it.
Yes, we understand each other quite well, and I have the greatest respect for them. Your PR director is amazing.
Yes, and the PR team. It's a very strong team, but they are outsized in performance.
Oh, yes. Okay. Minister, how much has the hurricane instructed the conference based upon how it comes to you?
Yes, significantly. Significantly. Someone asked me yesterday if I thought that the hurricane had re-energized the diaspora. And I said, I'm not so sure if it is a re-energization, and maybe it is, but it is a refocusing of energy.
Yes.
And I think people who may have had a latent desire to connect or to give, or that was ignited. And I think the day of service being focused around areas that are affected by by Melissa has helped to pull that out and to maybe give a place for it to land.
Yes.
So I'm very glad that we were able to align with a desire on behalf of the diaspora to provide a platform for them to connect and serve. So we were very pleased with the partnership of Victoria Mutual, their chairmanship, as we have with Grace. We deeply value our legacy partners. But I have to say a special appreciation to Mr. Jarrett.
Yes.
I think Butch Hendrickson was calling him Mr. Jamaica.
Mr. Jamaica. It's 22 years, isn't it?
Exactly. And he has his core foundational belief in the diaspora, understanding of the value of it, and not just from a business proposition in terms of his group, but from a place of the heart.
Yes, he has a very genuine, deep down feeling and affection for the diaspora.
It makes a phenomenal difference in how he approaches things, and it has been an absolute pleasure working with him, as it has Minister Terrelong has been. When by 2024, Minister Terrelong was still very new to the ministry, so I was still doing the recce. I was still here with the team at every step of the way. But this conference, I was able to be in Guyana while Minister Terrelong is doing the recce. I was in Ghana while Minister Terrelong.
Find a workhorse.
And he has done a phenomenal job with the team. So I am really, really very proud of conference. I continue to be open to hearing all of the feedback, but so far it has been 96% positive.
Wonderful. Minister, congratulations.
Thank you
for
very
a good
much.
conference.
Thank you for continuing to promote conference, promote the diaspora, promote engagement, to promote Jamaica.
We just have to do a budget and submit it to your department so that they'll be able to. Minister, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for stopping by this afternoon.
Thank you.
All the best.
All right.
There you have it, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and the person who is the co-chair of the diaspora for 2026. Talk to you later. Derek, how you doing?
I'm well.
Good to have you, and thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks so much for having me too.
Oh, the pleasure is mine.
Yes.
Now, you decided to come to the Diaspora Conference.
Yes.
Why?
Well,
thank you very much for having me this afternoon, and a very much good afternoon to all your listeners out there.
Yes.
I decided to come to Diaspora because 2 years ago, I was here. The one that I feel it was it wasn't Grace Kennedy, it was the other one that hosted VM.
VMBS
was the chair.
Was the chair, yes.
And
Courtney,
yes. At the time, I had just started the Ghana Jamaica Chamber of Commerce for the very first time.
Okay.
So that was my first outreach to coming over to Jamaica, and I loved it. So this one, I was like, we have to have a stand.
Yes.
We need to talk about Ghana and Jamaica because there are also the people from Jamaica who live in Ghana who are doing quite well. And VM Bank is one of our members of our chamber.
Okay.
So from 2 years till now, they are one of our platinum members. And we are working with them on various projects across Ghana as well. So the idea is to sort of provide the right access, connect the right people in order to trade. So access, connect, and trade.
Okay.
So the Ghana Jamaica Chamber of Commerce provides a platform for every business, big, small, medium, come to Ghana through us as a channel. And we are like a one-stop shop. We will help you register your business, understand the Ghanaian culture, and get to know the right people and connect with them in order to do business. At the same time, we are working with other agencies here in Jamaica to support Ghanaian businesses
who wants to come here or who are here.
So for me, the reason why I came to the summit was that we are also having the Ghana Jamaica Investment Summit in Kingston in September, 1st, 2nd, 3rd of September. We're going to be at the Pegasus having our summit.
Okay, wonderful.
And I felt it would be good to get a lot of these SMEs and companies to register for that conference.
For that conference.
So
Makes
that is
sense.
why I came to just sell that conference to our Jamaican brothers and sisters.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So what's the kind of feeling you get coming here with this kind of interaction and the connection, and how hopeful does it seem to you?
I feel like home.
Yes.
I'm Ashanti and the Maroons, so I've been all over. I've been coming to Jamaica about 10, 15, 20 times in the past 2-3 years. I've been coming next month. Every month I'm here.
Yes.
So, and I'm excited because I feel like Jamaica, I think, is the best island in the Caribbean. So, and they are naturally aligned or connected with Ghana in terms of food, culture, and history.
Right.
A lot of historic ties.
Yes.
The only thing that we haven't done is to build up on that and do business. And so anytime I come here, I feel like home. The food is similar. We have our wache, you have your rice and peas. And one thing about your ackee, when I was growing up, I was scared of the ackee tree because we saw that it was poisonous.
Okay.
So I go around playing golf in Ghana and there's ackee around us, but we don't touch it.
Okay.
There's so many ackee trees in Ghana.
I gotta have to come there because I'm a ackee freak.
You see, I've never had it.
Yeah, really?
I've still never had ackee because I feel like I'm still, but I'm excited to be here and to see. So anytime I come here, I've made a lot of new friends, and Jamaicans are lovely people and nice people. I think they're one of the most nicest people I've ever met in the Caribbean. I've been to Barbados, but Jamaica, you guys are special.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Definitely. Tourism is one theory I know that should be able
and
to
we
do
are
well.
learning a lot from Jamaica with tourism because we feel like Jamaica is far advanced when it comes to tourism. Ghana, because the brand Jamaica, if you look at Jamaica, it's not as big as Ghana, but it's very loud. Everybody knows about Jamaica.
Yes, Jamaica brand
so
is very
how does a
broad.
country like Jamaica, which of it's compared to Ghana, which is 35 million people, how do we get as loud as Jamaica? So we need to learn the strategy of how you got there. So so we need to do all that. And so as we are helping with cocoa, you help us with tourism.
Sure.
That's how it works.
And entertainment is a big industry.
Exactly.
And projects and events and
I
so
know
on.
we have artists like Vibes Cartel and other people. We have Popcan who came to Ghana recently. He got given a chieftaincy title.
Right,
in Ghana.
right.
We have a lot of Jamaican artists who are coming as well. And we have a lot of Ghanaian artists who want to come to
Jamaica,
and partner with our brothers here and there. So it's getting interesting.
So we should look forward to some really meaningful
collaborations
and developments and activities.
Yes.
And MOU signing and all that kind of thing.
And this afternoon, I met with the Prime Minister. He came to our stand, and I gave him authentic Ghanaian chocolate from Golden Tree, and I said, you should try it and let me know.
Yes,
because we could do that because there's a lot of companies that want to set up factories here and start making made in Ghana chocolate.
But then we need to start the proportion of growing the cocoa here so they can get the raw materials and everything. So factories want to come here because once obviously you get here, it helps to expand to. So we want to use Jamaica as the gateway to the Caribbean. Basically, that's what the companies want to do. So we use Jamaica, we learn from it, and then we expand to other Caribbean islands. So we say that Jamaica did it first.
Derek, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you so much.
I'll take you up on that matter because we are going to be in Ghana sometime in September when that summit starts.
Yes, the first, second, 3rd of September.
Will do, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, we talk again. Bless your heart.
Thank you.
All is up. It's a pleasure. Thank you. From the cool hills of Mandeville to the fiery deserts of Saudi Arabia and back here in Jamaica, we have one of these, they say, we rear some very, or we grow some very rare flowers and plants in Jamaica. Marcus Garvey once said, Jamaicans are like jewels scattered all over the world. And so it is right here, as you see sitting beside me, we have this wonderfully charming lady, grew up in a Mandeville, you know, in a cool, nice Mandeville. She could have even walk barefoot in a Mandeville. And when she went to Saudi Arabia, she had to be padding her legs because the time was so hot. But she won't tell us all about that. And beside her is one of our distinguished scholars and writers, just like herself, Mr. Kwame, M-O-R-R.
The laugh.
No, it's Mr. Kwame McPherson. Kwame McPherson. Kwame, how you doing?
I'm wonderful, man.
Well, we worked together some time ago on... We worked together some time ago, fine. He wants to get into the business of how I know this lady, you know, and I'm not going to let him know the secrecy because he has had eyes on her for a while.
True, that's true.
But you know what happened? She decided to say, Tenny, you first.
Yes.
Sweetheart, how you doing?
I'm very well.
Doctor.
Yes.
She is a doctor of, what do you call it, not clinical medicine, physiotherapy.
Correct.
Fine. So, with my ailment in that, do you know I'm going to have a personal physiotherapist because I have a problem with my ankle and my back, so she's going to have to go take care of me. So, look, God is so good to you sometimes, you see.
Blessed.
Blessed.
Totally, truly blessed.
No, the Honorable Doctor has, this is your professional, let me talk about this just for 2 minutes. It says R-E-F-I-T.
Correct.
No, I understand. It sounds like some physiotherapical.
So it started, it's housed in the tenets of physiotherapy because you refit the patient. And it developed over time into education and into becoming and being the best that you can be. So refitting yourself in empowerment and in pure innovative development.
Wow.
And from clinical education, I've moved into a realm of education that looks at helping those who haven't necessarily got the voice to develop their voice. And from this, I have developed into literature, and specifically as a Pan-Caribbeanist, Caribbean literature. So I support young people who are very interested in becoming independent writers, and I have a publishing arm that looks at supporting independent writers as self-publishers and developing their craft.
And she has carefully woven the whole business of physiotherapy into psychotherapy and into the whole business of the social well-being of the person to make that whole person become well again. So she goes into the mind and talking about their ability to express themselves and to find connectivity within themselves.
Absolutely, because writing, when you tell your story, it's extremely therapeutic.
Exactly.
And what I have done over the course of my career, from both here in Jamaica, over to Saudi and over to the UAE, is looked at how education and well-being and health intertwine. And as a Caribbean, we know we can talk.
Oh, so in other words, with all the experience and knowledge and exposure, she's a holistic person. So she did holistic programming and therapy and training. And she refit.
Thank you.
Kwame, you are a writer.
Yes, I am.
You're an author of
words.
You know how to really carefully string words and letters together.
He was actually invited to the Middle East.
So I'm understanding. But this man has quite a tapestry of stuff that he has been involved in. But I won't trace your antecedents today. I want to how both of you came together and what is that you're doing to because we're leading into this particular event, which I understand you guys have been afoot, which we want to hear about.
Correct. So on July the 12th, I am hosting a Caribbean Literature Day that has actually been founded by the House of Nahisi Publishers, who is heralded by Lasana Saku, based in St. Martin. This is a yearly event, but the reason I'm hosting it is because I'm asking cultural greats, Jamaican cultural greats like Kwame McPherson, Professor Opal Palmer Adisa, who has the only artist residency here in Jamaica, in St. Catherine. I'm inviting a Grenadian novelist and activist, Mel Collins, who has been well known since the days of the Grenadian Revolution with Maurice Bishop. I'm inviting St. Lucian, Gemma Weeks, the founder of Jaiku Poetry, Casey Garvey, and a United Arab Emirates scholar, Dr. Doris Hambuk. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because Kwame McPherson was invited by the ruler of Sharjah to attend the Sharjah Book Fair just at the time of Hurricane Melissa. Right?
Yes.
And previous to that event, he was invited in April by the ruler of Abu Dhabi, because there are 7 rulers.
So, you go to all of them nice places?
And that's where I met him.
Well, you didn't have to wear the
No, my colleague Marcus Bird, the 2021.
But so what happened? You got this invitation and you talk to me about that.
All right. Well, initially when I went into Abu Dhabi, what had happened is that they had a new they wanted to try something new, right? So they have this guest of honor. So it's a completely new element to the books, the festival.
And this is another element to the annual book fair.
Yeah. So it's brand new. So they had a guest of honor. So they were looking for someone from the Caribbean. So they were reaching out across the world in a bit, but they were looking at the Caribbean. And my name was one of 2 that came up. The other person was based in the UK, But when I received the email, I responded. I said, well, I thought it was a scam person. And then I said, this looks like a wonderful opportunity. I responded, and then I had a friend of mine in UAE to check it out.
Check them out properly. Is this real or not?
Exactly.
And we all talk, so we all knew.
And it was. And then it just started from there. And I said, you would like to come up. We also had the first guest of honor from Jamaica.
And I'll tell you, it was a huge event because the Caribbean diaspora especially the United Arab Emirates, is vast.
Oh, really?
And I just published a book called Talawa Tania. Talawa, as we know, is a very Jamaican-rooted word linking the word strong. And I wrote this book because at the moment there is nothing out there that combines patois, Creole, English, and Arabic. So I wrote a book combining these because I was so enamored with how much they had reached out to our heritage, well-known cultural greats. And so this event, planned on July the 12th, is to celebrate Caribbean literature, but also to recognize the growing amount of talent that we have in the country. And not just the country, I'm a pan-Caribbeanist, so I'm reaching out to the whole of the Caribbean. And it's going to be held at Kingston Creative Space.
So I was going to add, on that basis, so what happened is that because of the interest in the Caribbean, in particular, I was invited and I was able to meet Her Highness, or one member of the family.
Yep.
Her Highness,
one of them, I don't know, the vast family.
Yes. It was the ruler of Dubai.
And so that's what happened. And I had a few presentations talking about Caribbean, talking about Jamaica, talking about writing particularly, and the culture from a cultural perspective in terms of, because they have a huge interest and hunger to learn about Caribbean.
And again, it is because of our richness.
But how did that impact you personally?
Personally, I was honored because being a Jamaican, going there the first Jamaican to be as a guest
in that esteemed position.
Yeah, in that esteemed position, and that opportunity then enabled myself to come back again in November, October.
You got a chance to interact with a lot of other Caribbean nationals who were there, involved in both the arts and everything else.
They came and support. They came and supported me actually. Which is wonderful, and my sister flew in from London and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's nice.
So it was a wonderful, as Rihanna said, there's a groundswell of Caribbean people there who will support anything that's Caribbean next. And funny enough, when was invited back to Sarja.
Okay.
Myself and I reached out reached out to Marcus Bird, who's also another writer here, and both of us went together to Sarja, and that was also about talking about Caribbean and Jamaican writing in particular, and the interest that they have. You know?
And there are many. I mean, there are so many people of talent in there. You have there are 2 restaurants that, as you know, Caribbean cuisine is renowned. There are 2 restaurants in Dubai. One is called Ting Irie and the other one is called Miss Lily's.
One is what?
One is called Miss Lily's.
Miss Lily?
Miss Lily's, and it's
I
based,
love that.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's from the Rock House Foundation. They also have a restaurant in New York, but they also have a specific one in Dubai. Yeah. And I took them down to that establishment, and from that they developed new networks, new links. So the head chef Richie now knows Marcus, and they connect, and they know Kwame, and that's how our network grows. Right. And
so you are creating a kind of a quilt quietly without realizing it.
Yes, because I've
is this fabulous quilt a cultural and social quilt?
Because there is such a such a cousin.
And tying the various persons' personality.
Yes.
And you know, perspective of oneself
and
into this.
Even from that book that I've written, I'm now developing a film, and it's being developed by a gentleman called Jamie Jones, who has an organization called Yard Labs, and that then grows the network wider, and they all tend to know each other, but not necessarily interact with each other on a professional level.
Kwame, you understand? I beg your pardon. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because one of the things that came out of the whole Sarja trip in particular is that they want us to do a cross-culturalization of work.
Yes.
So myself and Marcus have approached them in terms of what they would like us to do for their market. So in terms from a Jamaican perspective. So that opportunity came out of
because I was just going to speak to the whole cross-fertilization and the cross-cultural thing, and how fascinating that it should be.
That we're coming out
so this activity you're having in Jamaica.
It's the launch. It's here in Jamaica, and I've brought it specifically back to Jamaica because I'm now based here with the UWI in the School of Education. So for me, this is personal about education our next generation. But with all the work that is being done cross-culturally across the Middle East and the Caribbean, I believe it's important to have a launch event in conjunction with House of Nahisi, but this will then become a year-long series of events that will connect the cross-cultural development happening in the diaspora within the UK, the US, Canada, the Middle East, but positing it here in the Caribbean.
We have some luminaries in the cultural fabric here that you can't try not to isolate. You can't
bring them in.
With Blacker Ellis.
Yes.
You have to find somewhere to throw him in a corner there.
Yes.
Or somewhere like a Binta Breeze, Jean.
Absolutely.
If you can find Jean somewhere.
This is the plan.
Well, I pity that somebody like Andrea Banner out in New York couldn't get to be a part of it, because this would be amazing.
This is just the beginning, because as I said, this first launch will be Professor Mel Collins, who's Grenada, Opal Palmer Disa, who's here in JA. But the next event, because I'm planning either monthly or bi-monthly, would be to reach out to these stalwarts that, of course, I went to.
And I'm sure you know a couple of names that you can always throw into the mix, all of those people.
So he's the man to know.
So tell us the date, the time, and the venue.
Great. So it's the 12th of July, 2026. That's a Sunday. It's in the afternoon, 1:30 to 3:30 Jamaica time. It is going to be streamed all over the world, based from Kingston Creative Hub. And the idea is that this will be then recorded and shared in segments. And then those who aren't able to get to this particular live recording will then know about the next series of events. And as I said, it is the launch of a year-long series of activities to promote wider prospects.
And them for Chong, I think because they've created an environment and a hope.
Oh, yeah, great. That sounds good. And you have to find Lenny, someone from JCDC.
Okay.
Find Lenny and Dr. Akelin.
Okay.
Find those two persons.
Thank you.
And of course, we're going to have to be there to stream.
Yes.
Carrying it right through the diaspora. So tune in and pay attention. On the 12th, we're going to be coming live from Kingston Creative. Doctor.
Yes.
It's so nice to meet you today. My brethren and friend, blessings and always a pleasure.
And of course,
we have another long bench discussion to draw. because me want to know where she come from in a Mandeville when she used to walk barefoot up and down and thief people mango and kid and dog run her down and all those things. But she went wait, no, we have to go inside here to see. Wait, no. Good to see you guys.
Oh,
Thank
pleasure.
you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Blessings. Good, like I said, one of those persons here who is responsible for really getting government at your service, as well as the other aspects of what government is trying to do in terms of how we do a full transformation of the society together. Her name is Miss Nicole White. Miss Nicole White, and she's the head person or the chief director for the National Identification Program. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Just to make a quick correction, I'm the Marketing and Planning Manager.
Marketing Planning and Manager.
At the National Identification Registration Authority, formerly the Registrar General's Department, RGD.
Also, you took out what Miss Holness used to be head of RGD.
Well, I'm not the head, I'm in charge of marketing and planning.
She's in charge of marketing and planning.
Right.
Okay, fine. So,
but a lot of people don't know the new name.
The new name, that's right.
So that people can make the link, we are formerly the Registrar General Department, RGD, the birth paper place.
I see. Thank you for the clarification, so I can put it in perspective.
Right.
And therefore, then you are responsible for marketing and public education and planning.
Exactly. So we, the National Identification Registration Authority, we took over all of what RGD
used to do,
which is birth, death, marriage, adoption. All of the vital events have to still be registered. You apply for your certificates from us. But in addition to that, we are now responsible for the rolling out and the enrollment of persons for the national ID, the national identification, right?
No, what is the legislation that drives this process for you?
I'm not remembering the legislation right now, but we are the entity responsible for the enrollment and the rolling out of the national ID for Jamaica.
Okay. Now, how does this identification program, fits into the many other identification things there's the national voters ID and other things?
So currently, persons have their passport, they have their driver's license, they have their voter's ID.
Right.
And if persons want to do transactions with, say, a bank, the minimum requirement is 2 IDs, and some places require a photograph with a signed and stamped by a JP. Now, a passport is really supposed to facilitate travel. A driver's license is evidence that you are licensed to drive. And a voter's ID is to facilitate voting when we have an election.
Right.
So really and truly, we are not supposed to be using those
for other things
except what they're designated for. And so the national ID will replace the need for persons to be traveling with several IDs to transact regular everyday business with a bank or with different institutions. So instead of having to open a bank account, you have to go with 2 ID, picture signed by a JP. You'll just present your national ID. That's it. So it will.
So once you hold up a national ID, then that is like another passport.
But it's a general. It's not specific to travel, to driving, to voting. It's a general national identification that it will be accepted for all transactions.
Yes.
Once you present that, that's all the entity will need from you to verify that you are who you say you are.
Because if I go to Digicel, they say, well, come with 2 IDs or ID for this or that sort of thing. So
and some places you have to present your TRN, which is another card with another number. So that's 4 if you're counting. Your TRN is actually the number that is on the national ID.
So you don't even have to need another TRN.
So you don't need to travel with a TRN.
Okay.
You just present
so this one ID
card,
is that
it has a TRN number on it, and it will be the number that entities, the ID that entities will use to verify, okay, this is Tom Brown that is standing in front of me, that is here to open a bank account, that is here to this or here to that. They will be able to use that to verify that it is who is in front of them.
So this is the ID that says you're who you are.
Right. So you don't have to be traveling with several IDs and running to find a JP to sign a picture or to sign a this or to sign a that. Your ID will be accepted as being valid, once the entity, they would be able to log on to a database to verify that it is authentic and verified information on it. The person in front of them, they'll be able to verify it's that person. That's it.
And this ID, you have to be properly processed to get it. So therefore, once you get it, it's not an ID that you can get around the corner.
No. Especially based on what it is printed on, the security features that are embedded in the actual material that makes up the ID. It's not something that you could just go around the corner and print or rustle up. No.
What kind of time framework it takes for you to be able to start and finish your process to get one of these IDs?
Okay, so you can pre-enroll by going on the website www.nira.gov.jm, upload whatever documents are required, answer the questions that are there. If you do that, because you have to come physically into one of our offices to take the photograph, to give your fingerprints, as well as for us to get your signature. But if you do the online pre-enrollment, then you should be able to get through within 15 to 30 minutes. But if you don't go online and you just come to our office to do the process from start to finish, then it might take a little longer than that.
Longer time.
Right. So we encourage persons go on our website, do the pre-enrollment, so you get that part of it out of the way. So when you come, it's really just to take your picture.
But you have to come in the office to take the picture.
Right.
Would that be an electoral office like you do for the other voters' ID?
It's one of our locations. So currently we have 11 locations island-wide. So you visit one of the 11 locations. So we're scattered in different parishes.
Okay.
And you come to the one that's nearest to you to take your physical picture. We take your fingerprint and your signature.
And it's so that exercise.
The ID is free. And you should be able to get the ID, be able to collect it within 2 weeks after doing the
photograph.
Right.
Within 2 weeks after that.
Right.
Is it sent to you in the mail, or you have to come to the office to pick it up
the
and sign for it?
that you went to do the picture and the thing, you
have to go back there to pick it
Well,
up.
if you don't want to go to that specific one, you indicate which of the other 11 you want to pick it up at. Right. So it will be sent there, you'll be notified it's there, and you go back, you collect it. And it's free of cost.
Jamaicans in the diaspora would love to be able to get hold of this.
Right.
And
We've
also
had a
need
number
to
of
know
persons at this conference who don't live here. They're Jamaicans overseas. And they have been signing up.
And some want to be able to know how to access this.
Well,
what kind of information is available to them in the diaspora?
So they can go on our website, www.nira.gov.jm, and information is there as to everything that they need to know about the IDs there. It's on the website.
You hear from the lady herself, Miss Nicole White. She's the boss lady who is marketing and events and all those things. But we'll be having further discussion with her to see how our program, our facility, will be able to carry the information, assist that process so that we can get as many Jamaicans in the diaspora and around to be able to get locked into the system, and so that this program can be a success as it is hoped that it will be. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Always a pleasure.